Morning guys, morning from Savuti camp in Chobe once again. Very different experience to quiet we had yesterday. Obviously it's dry as anything here. In fact it's so dry, even the ablution block, the toilets, showers, there's no water, which was, it happens around here. Luckily all of us were able to get a shower in last night, all of that stuff. It's quite a small little ablution block, I've got to say, for the size of the number of pitches we've got around here, which is a bit strange, but it is what it is. It's part of the African experience. Last night was really rather special. We saw the whole Milky Way across the sky, really dark. It was new moon, absolutely pitch black. I don't know if you've experienced what absolute silence is, or if you've ever been in a sensory deprivation tank. Last night was something like that. Absolute silence, no sounds at all from the birds, nothing going on around us. Just absolutely pitch black and absolute quiet. Fantastic experience, gotta say. Yeah, Savuti camp. It's the only camp really that you can come and stay at in the Chobe National Park, unless you're with a private tour operator, of course. There are a couple of safari tents over there. There's a pretty good gate there. There's a tuck shop which you can get some cold beers at, and a little curio shop. So it's quite a lot more touristy than we were used to. We've been camping like solo, just our little group, for quite a while now. And now to come into this, it's quite a shock. Imagine what Chobe Safari Lodge is going to be like. Anyway, look at this place. Fantastic area. Quite a lot of open areas, like dry, open savannas. You got the trees in the background. That's patchy. We went to the baobab forest yesterday as well, which was quite nice. A couple of, I think about 10 or 12 old baobab trees. And when I'm talking about old, I'm talking about 1,000 years old. Almost as old as Vic over there. So yeah, man. Also, we try to have a look at Quarry Hill, but these are rental cars. I'm not going to tear the back bumper off that, just for a quick view of the hill. And then we went to Harvey's Pans. Yeah, that was quite an open area as well. A little bit of water there. A couple of nice, really big, massive buffalo sightings there, which was really nice. So yeah, now we're going to head up to Goa Gate and then that little cut line along the Chobe Forest Reserve. Chobe Forest Reserve, which is kind of like a sand forest, as we mentioned previously in a different video. And then up to Kasani. And probably we'll carry on and follow the river this time instead of taking the main road back to Kasani as well, which is going to add another couple of hours to our journey, but totally worth it. So yeah. Savuti camp, it's a different experience. It's very dry, very hot out here. At least it cooled down a lot during the night, and now it's quite nice and very good to drink a cup of tea and watch how the morning develops around us. Here's our chauffeur of the day, Vic.
Hi lovelies.
Cruising through the Chobe National Park on the way to Goa Gate on a nice balmy, I don't even know what day it is, but it's something somewhere in the morning. And yeah, actually a very pleasant place to stay. As I said before, the whole camp needs a little bit of refurbishment maybe, but that's also the African way in some ways. Just if it works, leave it, and yeah, we'll carry on like it is. Very busy, a lot of campsites there, a lot of people. This is actually kind of the low season, but there's still, I think the whole camp was fully booked. As we get to a crossing, and this is probably the proper road to, we can go a bit faster now, eh?
No, we do fine, it's 35.
But we can't because we're on a game drive after all, and that's what we forget sometimes, right? We're also here to look at the animals. We saw a lovely leopard this morning, which was just fantastic. It just slunk across the road and stopped and had a look at us and didn't really worry about it, which was really nice. It wasn't scared at all, and then about 10 meters into the bush, it just disappears. So it's really difficult to spot game out here. Obviously, you can see it's a lot of green, a lot of tall grass, a lot of new growth as well, which looks like a managed forest, like pine trees or something that they grow for paper and stuff. But out here, it's done by the elephants, so I think the elephants get a cut out of the new forest management or something. But they are good for that, and hippos as well. Hippos maintain the waterways, which we didn't know, which keeps the delta open and flowing, and it's good for the ecosystem. So yeah, as we make our way north to Kasani, I'm going to say Chobe's pretty good. It's a very different experience to Moremi. It's very open on down south near Mababi Gate. There's a huge savanna. If you take the marsh road, it just stretches all the way to the horizon, nothing there. And the animals obviously were much smarter than we were. As I've said before as well, they take a siesta during the heat of the day while we're trying to cruise to get to our camp. And it's slow going. The sand is really very soft. It's kind of like very soft beach sand. And when it gets really hot during the day, it gets even softer. It's got talcum powder, and it just offers no traction at all. So you're going to have to do about 10 or 15 kilometers an hour, especially if you have a Toyota Hilux, because it doesn't have any rear suspension, and it just bounces and bottoms out if you don't ease off your speed. So it's very slow going sometimes, depending on road conditions. And the Land Cruisers are much more stiff, but they don't do washboards very well, so it's kind of an up and down option. And the other side of it is your budget. We see a lot of the Hiluxes around as well. I think about a dozen different vehicle rental agencies that we've seen, which is unbelievable. The market is huge. I think it's probably getting bigger. They had a really tough time during COVID, which basically decimated their industry, because Botswana's main industry is diamond mining, which makes it quite a very well established country. I think they've got a good infrastructure. It's very safe around here, and for a small amount of population, they've actually done really well for themselves. The other side is the tourism. Tourism is their second biggest economic growth engine, I would say. So with COVID, nobody was about to travel. A lot of the locals around Mon, Kasani especially, they really had it tough because there were no tourists allowed to come for a year or maybe two. So it's picked up a lot now, which is good for them. Happy to hear that they are back and established again. So yeah, Botswana, very fascinating country. We did a cultural tour in Mon as well, which was very interesting. It showed us a little bit of how things go there. They're very proud of their appearance. They do a lot of work to clean their shoes, which is quite something.
Especially in this dust.
Especially with all this dust around, I suppose. And their cars. A lot of car washes, which was also actually like set up from the COVID era, because a lot of people started their own business, and the car washes have grown into like the social point in Maun, in any village, I suppose. And what they do there is they go and park their car, have a car wash, but at the car wash there's a tuck shop. You can get something to eat, you can have a haircut, you can shine your shoes, and there's even a pool table outside in the dust under a tree where you can play some pool, which is really nice. And you can catch up with all the daily things that are going on in town. So yeah, very good that. And then we had some basket weaving. We tried to do that. Obviously we were no good. These guys are very very clever how they do all the weaving and stuff. It was quite interesting, and they do a lot of the help for the young ladies in particular, to help them get some work, help them get some training, a bit of education, a bit of support as well, which is very nice. And in that way the tourism industry helps everyone on every level. The other one was the markets. There's a lot of market stalls out there which are kind of informal. The government gives you a permit, but they don't really pay taxes as such, as far as I understood it. So it's kind of legal, but it's informal, if that makes sense. And if I'm wrong, correct me down below as well. And after that we had a little lunch as well, which is quite nice. A bit of pap, which was good, which is kind of like a maize meal, a stiff porridge, and they had some meat, I think it was chicken, and a bit of gravy and some pumpkin. And that's basically just a little taster of what they would normally eat. And what they also do is roast or boil their corn, little corn kernels, and then they dry that out, and that becomes like a snack that you can take on the road, like as if it was a bag of peanuts or something, which is also quite cool. Because I think agriculture around here is quite difficult. It's very dry around here. There's another drought this year which has been really tough on everyone. Water is a big thing, especially not only for the animals but also in the villages. As I said already, the ablution block at Chobe, at Savuti camp, was totally devoid of any water this morning, so it made for an interesting session, I would think. So yeah, there's a hillside. We've got a little bit of elevation. Botswana is really flat. I don't know if you know this already, but if you've lived in Holland, it's the flattest country on the planet apparently. But I think Botswana trumps that because it's 10 times bigger. So to see a hill out here is actually quite something special in some ways. Man, yeah, this sand, this perpetual sand, that's unbelievable. That's why the Okavango is so special, because most of the country is this kind of dry, arid, semi-desert conditions, and then you have the Okavango Delta. So yeah, actually I would think Botswana is maybe not even that much on the map internationally, or as well known as Kenya, for example, or Namibia as a safari destination. But it actually offers a whole lot of everything in one in some ways, which is quite cool. It's very accessible. Here is the hillside.
This is the zen of driving.